Welcome everybody to the first edition of the Bonanza Breakdown. I'm joined by undefeated retired professional fighter Alex Hughes and the man, the myth, the legend Brett Parry, who is professional and amateur coach. And we're just going to talk some shit about boxing. And we start off with Lyndon Arthur and Anthony Yarde. What are you thinking, boys?
Wasn't the outcome I expected, to be honest though.
I was shocked.
Massively shocked.
I tell you what, I was shocked. But I underestimated. Everyone said about Arthur's jab.
Yeah.
And how sharp and fast it was. Right, I was a little bit shocked by it. But after about 6 rounds, I expected more from Yarde and more of a game plan.
Yeah.
Because to me, it was just a case of he just couldn't get past it and he just didn't have a plan B. So I was shocked, but I was shocked at the result. Not on the night, but I thought the Yarde would have.
Oh, I honestly thought you were going to blitz him.
Yeah.
I did. I haven't seen much of Arthur, to be fair, massively, but I just feel like his game plan with Yarde, I feel like obviously he's not like he's not a brawler or anything, but he's a boxer, but like an inside fighter. And I feel like he got to set his feet to let his shots go.
Yeah.
And obviously with Arthur's jab, every time he went to set his feet, he was pinging him with that and fucking.
Do you think that he just knocking him off his rhythm?
Straight off his rhythm. Every time he went to set himself to let his shots go, bang! And he was knocked straight off his fucking off his feet, kind of. Do you mean so he couldn't plant himself and let his own shots go?
I can't see where the Yarde camp is coming from when they say they got robbed, mind. Even at the end of the fight, you could see how upset Yarde was.
Yeah.
But Arthur was Arthur had come out and said, look, I thought I won the fight and I won it on the jab, etc. But he was filming, and I think me and you had a chat after about Yarde was filming. And when I go back, I look at it again, and even when he watched it, he still thought he won the fight. Yeah. I just can't see.
Because I thought at first he's acting out of emotion and it's got the better of him. He'll go back and watch it and think, oh no, I didn't, maybe I didn't. But, or maybe he was worried about saying that he didn't think he won the fight because the way he acted after the fight.
But backtracking, you mean?
But yeah, he was worried about backtracking.
But he would have looked better doing that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there's any way he watched that fight the next day.
No.
And thought, oh yeah, I won that.
So what do we think about Tunde Ajayi? I know we had a lot of stick after the fight about his game plan. What are we saying?
Oh, I don't think he goes in there with any game plan. I honestly think he obviously knows what he's talking about. He's a boxer and he's been involved with the game a long time. But I think he thinks it's more about himself than Anthony Yarde at the moment. I really think he does.
He did. I think I agree with Al. I don't think he had a game plan going in there. A lot of people say he got to switch to plan B or plan C. I don't think he had a plan A. I think that we're talking about a guy now as in Yarde that apparently he's no sparring at all.
Yeah.
So I think it was just, it is what it is. He's good enough just to do. But I in terms of the corner, being a coach, I'm always looking, when you're a fighter, you look at the fighters, what they're doing, and I always tend to look at the corners and I put myself in their position. But okay, what would I say, what would I do here?
Yeah.
There was nothing coming back from that corner.
Nice.
I know people laugh and joke about there's lions in the camp malarkey, but you're talking at a level now. This guy, mine, was boxing Kovalev. I went 11 rounds with him.
11 rounds. So a competitive 11 rounds.
So look, Yarde is quality.
100%.
But you got a question.
I still don't think we've seen the best of it.
I personally
really
think,
don't.
I was very surprised with the Kovalev fight. I thought it was a fantastic fight up until he gassed out. And he did surprise me. But I watched a video on Kelly Pavlik when he was talking about some trainers and motivational speakers, and instead of trainers, do you think maybe he could get somebody else in the camp?
I think there's a motivational speaker, but then there's kind of like an ego booster. You need to kind of let someone know.
Well, you think that he's there for himself or not?
Oh, 100%. And he only tells him everything he wants to you. Sometimes you've got to let someone know. Oh look, this got to be changed.
I said,
Well, how can you go work on your faults if nobody tells you the faults of
them? Do you mean, you listen to Tunde, he's the most amazing athlete. He said on interview, he's better than Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
Do you mean, you keep telling him stuff like that?
Have a day off, innit?
And he don't think, do you mean?
Yeah.
He thinks he's doing nothing wrong.
As a fighter yourself, how would you have felt going into fights without the sparring?
Way off.
Yeah?
Even after a fight, you have a couple of weeks off, and then when you go back to the gym, you don't spar anyway you don't need to, so you don't do it. So when you have a fight lined up, then you go into camp, your first sparring session, you're all over the shot.
Okay, with time,
timing
distance,
and you see shots coming, but your feet are in the wrong position, and you're too close, and bang, you get clipped, and you get frustrated with yourself. The more spars you have, the better you start to feel in yourself, and then by the time you're going to fight...
It's just like football team, they obviously play a little games here, there. It's exactly the same thing as you're practicing.
Yeah, of course it is.
Practicing,
It's the most real thing to the actual fight night.
I don't understand that either, and I think what Al is saying there is that I think most fighters out there that are listening is that it's imperative for your timing, just to get that distance, your footwork, your reflexes, your instinct.
Do you know what though, I don't know how much truth is in it though. I don't know whether it's just a publicity thing again with him.
Yeah, I think he's admitted to light body sparring and stuff, but mostly, what do you call it, pad work?
Tech pads.
Technical pad work, that's what...
But looking at that performance, mind, that was screaming out someone that's done no sparring at all.
Yeah.
Like, if you looked at when I
couldn't time a jab.
No.
At all.
I couldn't cut off the ring.
Couldn't, do you mean?
He was following his tail all around the ring, and I think with sparring, that's when someone could tell you. On pads, you're straight in front of him all the time.
Yeah.
When you're sparring and someone's moving around the ring, that's when you learn to cut off.
To me, looking at it, we spoke about it earlier on, is that pad work, when you drip fed shots, anyone can do it.
Yeah.
Once you start you land a shot and you block it and it knocks you off your rhythm.
Of course it does,
without the sparring, you're kind of in no man's land. And I was screaming out that performance.
Yeah. So the rematch, how do we see this going down?
If it happened, there's some money on it. I'd probably say Yarde. But I think when he started to fight himself a little bit,
after the 4th or 5th round, I was sat in the house and screaming at the TV like a normal man. But once he started, all he needed to do is once he put the pressure on, Arthur was a little bit because he was knocking him off his rhythm. Once he started doing the end of the 11th and all of the 12th, I think he caught Arthur with a shot.
He did.
Should have been doing that in the 4th or 5th round.
If Arthur comes in with a right hand, could it be different?
I thought on the night, did he really hurt there? I don't know. I just think he was playing it so safe. I think he knew if he could obviously, like when you hit him on your arms and that, you feel it. Do you mean?
Yeah.
And maybe he was a bit timid to let that right down go, knowing what.
After the fight, he said that exactly what you're saying. Really, he was winning with a jab, and every time he saw the right hand, he was getting countered. After Yarde had said that he felt he lost the fight, he was robbed of the fight. Then he said that he broke his hand.
I listen a lot to Pat. I'm a big fan of Pat Barrett.
Yeah.
Only this last couple of years, I think he's a good coach.
Very straight.
Yeah, straight. He's very pally with Gary.
Yeah.
Gary speaks very highly of him, so I've taken a bit of an interest in him and his coaching techniques, abilities, call it what you want. But I've been listening to his interviews after today actually, and he was saying that he injured his hand in the warm-up in the changing rooms, but he didn't know to what extent they were warming up. And he said he could feel his hand, so he just laid off it. I think he threw 2 right downs, and when he did throw a mind, he landed.
Yeah, which is quite frustrating to watch really. At the time we didn't know he'd injured his hand, and I thought he was being gun shy, but obviously maybe he did hurt there, maybe.
We're going back to the rematch. I know there's a rematch in the contract, but again, listening to the feedback from the coaches and Arthur's team, there's no time scales on it.
It's nothing. No, I wouldn't know.
So if it does happen, it will be interesting because that jab is wicked, mind. And Yarde need to adapt to that. And the only way they're going to be doing that is getting the sparring, having a plan B, a plan A, a plan B. But again, if Yarde puts the pressure on, compiles the pressure to knock Arthur off it. Again, I think it's a 50-50.
Yeah.
Personally.
But I've seen that he put something on his Twitter.
Oh no.
Yarde.
Yeah.
They need to start making some changes for himself.
Yeah. But talking about, I brought that up because talking about changes, Tunde, I don't know what the relationship is there. Is there a family relationship?
No, they seem very close though.
Very close.
I think that...
He took Yarde through the amateurs, I think.
Okay, so I think that in terms of coaching, I think, how many times have we seen a fighter lose and change the coach? What you've got to ask yourself is, why was that coach in place, first of all? So there's obviously something that Tunde offers Yarde.
Oh yeah.
So I think...
With very limited amateur experience, Tunde took Yarde to a very, very good fight in Kovalev. And I think that wasn't just a lucky shot, you know what I mean? He must know his stuff.
Oh yeah, because what he does when you think of it, he manages him as well, see? So he's basically took Yarde from a 12 amateur fight
12
novice
amateur fights, yeah.
but without really fighting anyone with a big name.
Yeah.
So he's probably earned £1 million, mind.
Yeah.
He's obviously good in that sense.
Yeah. But I think in terms of the team, I think if Tunde offers something, whether it's motivational or... But we speak about all that all the time. I think a lot of coaching is mindset.
Yeah.
What you're saying, how to speak, saying the right things to the fighter at the right time.
Yeah.
You obviously offer something, so it might just be a case of bringing someone additional in with a little bit more experience.
I think so,
that
definitely.
can offer a different side of it. Someone who's a little bit long in the tooth, just to add that. Because if you look at, if the jigsaw is there and there's a couple of pieces missing, you don't mess the jigsaw up and start again. You just fill in the gaps.
Finding the missing piece.
So just fill them personally.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So
we move on now to the fight last weekend, Pulev versus Joshua. What do we think of the new reformed Anthony Joshua?
honestly, it's the best I've seen in box.
I was very impressed. Do you know what? I think that guy can't do right for doing wrong. And I think what's impressed me most with last week was that, it was to the neutral fan on the front foot. He was landing shots at these getting uppercuts. I think he threw four. But then they were landing every time. It's his footwork. It's that safe exit. I think before Joshua, the first 15-20 fights, he was like a train, front foot, just knocking people out left, right and centre. The first Ruiz fight, knocked him off his rhythm, and he didn't have a plan B, and he found out and he lost. He went away, come back, beat Ruiz at ease, mind. It was easy for him. But I also blame Ruiz for that fight. He came in way overweight. He fought, he's won. He didn't train. You know, I'm not saying that it would have been a tougher fight. It weren't all Joshua, in my opinion. It was Ruiz let himself down.
But he done what he had to do.
I
think he done what he had to do. Again, on Saturday, he mixed it completely. People are saying, we're going to see Joshua on the front foot. Is he going to be his old self? Is he going to go on the back foot like Ruiz? Is he going to do a bit of both? I think he done everything.
He did do a bit of both. He did.
But
is it a bit too late, too deep in his career to be changing his style?
I don't think so, because we spoke about this last week, Al. I know that he's brought in two new guys, Hernandez,
and Angel Hernandez,
and a guy called Joby Clayton.
Yeah.
Now it's kind of gone under the carpet because I hadn't really heard of either. Al had heard of Hernandez.
I've heard of Hernandez.
But what I think they've been doing in the camp is tech pads, concentrating on certain aspects of it. I'm not a fan of this crash, bang, wallop, smash, hitting the pad as hard as you can, as fast as you can. You don't know nothing from that. Just slowing everything down, concentrating on your footwork, a safe exit, pivoting off. And he's done that in the last two fights since he's brought them two on. So I think it's credit to McCracken as well.
I do think as well, though, within...
For bringing them in.
Like you said, will he proper change? I don't think you've had the opponent in front of him to frighten him enough to see if he will stick to that game plan yet, though. Obviously, with Ruiz, he wasn't himself in the second fight.
No.
Just look at the shape he come in.
Cool, never no mug, mind.
No, of course he's not mug, but he was always in control, do you mean? He was always in control, and for instance, if he wants to stand any chance with Fury, he got to go back to the old brutal Joshua, I think.
Okay,
he can't
so
stand on a back foot.
Closing that distance. You just
got
put Fury.
Let's put Fury in front of him now. The next fight that's coming up will be Joshua and Fury, we hope. How does that play out?
I think he's got to stick on.
He's
not a heavyweight. Tyson Fury would have gone in any heavyweight era. 100%. And it's not a heavyweight on the planet at the minute who can beat him at range. Not even close.
Why then? Why?
Because his feet work and his movement, his speed, his timing for a man of his size at 6'9"
That's wild.
is unbelievable.
Reminds
Do you
me
know
of myself.
what?
It's unbelievable. You know what I mean? It is, honest to God. It's mind-boggling some of the stuff
Do you know
you
what
see.
goes
Right?
amiss? Is feints.
It's
Constantly.
constantly. And that's what offset Wilder in the second
And
fight.
that'll drain you. It'll drain
Oh
you
my God,
mentally,
because every time he
constantly
faints,
thinking.
and that's slowly taking the air out of you.
yeah.
So you think that Fury beats Joshua at ease?
Comfy, I think so, yeah.
If Joshua stands off?
Oh, 100%. If he stands off, yeah, definitely. But then at the same time, I don't know if Joshua got enough steam in him to try and steam
Yeah.
him.
Is
totally
Fury strong?
agree with
Is Fury strong enough to keep him off?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so because
I
he
think
got
so.
the gas tank. Maybe the first few rounds Joshua will be stronger, but when Fury's putting his weight on him and he's tying him up,
We had a fight though.
Oh, of course he will.
brilliant,
Do you mean
fantastic.
Joshua's hard work for anyone.
Yeah.
It's not an easy night's work. Do you mean? It's not.
He doesn't have the credit, does he?
No, of course not. He's a hell of a fighter. You're not two-time heavyweight champion of the world for nothing. Do you mean?
But I think.
But at the minute, I think Tyson Fury's heads and shoulders.
Like, I'm a
above
massive fan of Fury. I always have been because I'll always pick the boxer over the brawler.
Yeah.
Again, the neutral fans like the knockouts.
Yeah.
But it's the art for me.
Yeah.
And technically, he's levels above.
Yeah.
In terms of his skill set, because he's got it all. Has he got knockout power? Personally, I don't think he has.
Not concussive knockout power. No, he hasn't.
Is he strong enough to keep them off? Yes, but it'll be a hell of a fight. I just hope it's in the UK.
Yeah,
I hope it's not in Saudi.
Saudi.
Do you know what? I think it'll be really kicking the teeth to British fans who pay
definitely.
monthlies all year round to see these fights, and then the two best of British heavyweights
Probably the
come
biggest British
together
fight of all time.
ever. Yeah,
I don't think it's ever happened before.
not unifying.
Not
them.
unifying that.
No.
World heavyweight, two British together.
I read yesterday in some sort of article that the WBO have come out and said it's not happening.
I
agree with that though.
They've done it twice.
Yeah,
They said
I do agree
for
with that.
What I will say though, sorry John,
It's
is
okay.
that he's only had one fight at heavyweight, mind.
Usyk. Yeah, but
He was a
unified
super
the
champion,
divisions
down
to
low.
become a
Yeah,
super
but he
champion.
just, so all of a sudden he's just come into it and said, right, okay, you know.
I think that's
And
what
then
that super champion status
Yeah,
means.
that's what it is. He can get him
Go
title
up
shot
and
at
yeah.
any
So do you
moment.
think they'll end up just putting him aside?
Usyk is not going to step aside.
Do you think?
No, he said
will
that,
not
yeah.
step
He will.
aside. I don't think he will. And
He
you know
said
what?
that.
Because he knows if he sticks to his gun, he got a lot easier fight than Joe Joyce
Okay,
to win the world
let me put
championship.
this, let me put this to you then. He steps aside for 10 million.
I totally agree.
And he gets the winner.
I totally agree. I totally agree with that, but
I just don't think he
he's gonna do
will.
it.
I think he's Eastern Europeans, he's different breed.
Fighting
man.
men. They
Yeah.
are fighting men.
He said he was in an interview after his last fight with Desora, and they said to him about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he said, you got no chance, I'm not fucking stepping aside. I'm here to fight. You got enough money to last him a lifetime anyway.
And I give it to him. He wants Joshua.
Yeah.
His first name.
He always said
calls out
is
Anthony Joshua.
his toughest task is Fury. You've always said that.
He's the cash cow mind, isn't he?
He is
Oh,
a cash cow.
100%, yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
But like Alex just said, these are fighting men, and I think he does want the fight, and I think easier fight in Joe Joyce for the title, because Joshua will vacate rather than fight Usyk, surely.
be disappointing not to have that belt on the table off the
It will, yeah.
For all of them, yeah. But in ways though, I do agree with WBO.
Yeah.
Boxing is all about money these days, and it feels to me like they're standing their ground and sticking by the rules.
They've done
There's
it
not
for
many people
Ruiz
doing
fight.
boxing anymore.
WBC.
Oh, they probably put 5 belts on it.
There's a new belt.
Yeah, be a new belt mentioned.
There's Tyson Fury belts, you can't fight for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so who was you picking?
I think I'll go with Al. At the moment, I think, even though Josh would impress me in terms of his footwork, in and out, going forward, coming back, whatever, I think he's definitely, his skill set has gone up a level since he's brought these two guys in. But does he match Fury for skill set? No, I don't think so.
I pick
But
Fury.
I agree with Al.
I think there's nothing that Joshua can bring to the table that Fury can't deal with. I struggle to. Fury is one of the best heavyweights I've ever seen, and his ability to adapt is second to none.
And he's got a tremendous chin.
Oh.
If
He
didn't
get
have
knocked down,
if
but
he-
he'll get back up.
He goes down often, he's got to get it. And he goes down heavy, you think, oh, he's gone, he's not getting up. So all of a sudden then he gets up at 8 like. Springs up, here we go.
And you were picking Fury, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, but with a tough fight. Not by no broke breeze.
You didn't ask you that?
No, it's a tough fight. Yeah.
Right, so we'll move on now to the big fight next week, which is Canelo versus Smith.
I think he's getting... Canelo's gonna... he's the favourite for me, but the way I feel like the bookies got Smith is ridiculous.
I haven't seen it.
He's a massive underdog.
Yes?
Yeah,
Worth
like-
a bet.
But most of them are.
Oh yeah, Smith is a handful.
But a lot of it, certainly with the bookies, and
They're going off his last fight.
you're only as good as your last fight.
Yeah.
And I think on his last fight, boxed John Ryder.
Yeah.
I
Which
thought he
won.
lost.
Yeah.
I thought Smith lost.
Yes, but I'm...
If he goes in like that against Canelo, he's gonna have problems.
Yeah.
But like Al just said, Smith turns up with the right game plan because Gallagher's a tactician mind.
Yeah.
With the right game plan, right attitude, fit, on form, he'll give Canelo a good
Oh,
win.
100%.
What is the way to beat Canelo?
I don't know.
Jab?
I don't know. You Daniel Jacobs, he got a license jabbing him. I seen him throw an 8 at Canelo and he set that wall.
It's not for me.
Yeah, you mean, if I was
Kovalev had a lot of success with the jab. Smith is a big man. He's long.
that's...
What's the height difference?
Oh, he's like
Couple of inches,
6'3"
isn't
and
it?
a half to like 5'8".
Yeah.
Smith can bang
Smith
well.
is very good on the inside and all, mate, for a big
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Do you know if Smith can control that distance and get his shots off, at some stage you will start clipping Canelo, and then you'll be able to see. I know that Canelo and Golovkin are hitting each other for fun. It'd be interesting because he does punch, Smith does.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see what tactics they come up with.
The fact is, the best way to beat Canelo is outboxing. Try and pick one because...
At range.
Yeah, the fight he lost, Floyd, but he's a different grade. But I've seen him fight against Ellis Landy Lara, and I thought he might have just lost that one. Yeah, and that was just a back foot, boxing.
Boring.
Kind of.
Just straight arrows, back foot.
Just box it, then move all night. Then he does get frustrated because I think these Mexican styles, they built in them, they want to war, don't they? And he gets a bit frustrated, then he gets a bit carried away, he starts loading up and stuff. But that was before. He is a different. He looks a full package.
If you look at, I was talking to someone earlier on about the Kovalev fight for Canelo, and looked like Canelo was doing nothing. But when he's on the ninth, was it
11th?
Oh, was that it?
Yeah.
He was doing nothing.
Yeah.
But what he was just doing,
I thought he was losing the fight.
he's just pressurising with his feet, just tagging away. Obviously, the energy levels dropped for Kovalev, and he just tagged him.
What if they didn't?
But they
What
did,
if he tries that with Smith and Smith is extra fit? Can he afford to lose every round up until 11th?
I think he was still doing just enough to be there.
Oh yeah,
He was there, but I think he was
Do you know what I
losing
mean?
that fight.
Well, Canelo.
No, Canelo was losing against Kovalev.
It was...
He was thereabouts.
Yeah,
He was nip and tuck.
He was doing enough, saving his own energy levels, wearing Kovalev down, but in the fight, do you mean?
Yeah.
He wasn't just letting him run away with anything, right?
Yeah.
11.
Yeah.
Watch it,
He's a man who can finish a fight now, mind.
I love it,
From
man.
nowhere.
I love it.
There's angles, timing, distance,
Yeah.
clock.
And putting shots together, unbelievable. Oh,
But his
phenomenal.
body work is fantastic. He's the full
I
package.
think so.
So talking pound for pound, where do we place Canelo? If he beats Smith and if he doesn't beat Smith?
He's up there.
He's at the minute it's 1 or 2. I'm a massive Terence Crawford fan.
I love
I
Crawford.
love him hell.
He's getting a lot of stick lately, Crawford, for not fighting the...
Do you mean
Nobody wants to fight them.
No, I wouldn't want to fight them.
No.
But I also see he put on social media he's dropping down again.
Yeah, he said
He is.
might.
Yeah.
I heard Josh Taylor be interested in it, apparently.
That's very interesting.
Where's the guy? Like, no.
Yeah, Josh Taylor, yeah. Handful as well,
Crazy job.
man. Yeah.
Loves a Taylor.
Yeah, Josh Taylor, but Crawford for me, he's a special fighter, you mean? Because he's a killer to go with it as well. He smells blood and he goes for it.
Spence gives him problems, mate.
Yeah, Spence handful
Spence can
anyway.
give anybody problems.
Yeah, he's so big, but...
The guy nearly died 6 months, so it comes out.
Unbelievable. Beats one of the best welterweights in the world, like.
Danny Garcia is no mug.
No.
And he was very underrated for that fight.
There's talks of him going up to middleweight to fight Canelo.
Danny Garcia?
Oh.
Spence.
Spence,
Ah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
Hold your horse in there at the minute, do you?
Yeah, let's take your time. I know Clarissa Shields wanted to go at Golovkin as well.
Sure to fight every man, eh? He's fighting on the weekend as well, isn't he?
Just chuck it in.
I seen on the cage with John Jones on the weekend.
Yeah.
Throwing him around.
And most men do that. Tell you what, change the subject slightly, going off Dubois.
Yeah.
The Dubois fight.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of he's been criticised a lot and about didn't he quit the fight, how Joe Joyce come out and there's a surprise because no one expected Joyce to come out and do what he done.
No.
The bell really, wasn't it, Jimmy?
But he's been criticised, I think unfairly, Dubois quit.
My opinion,
What do you think?
He 100% quit. He quit, he took a knee, he didn't want to get back up, he quit. Is that saying that it's a wrong decision? Absolutely not. He might have saved his career. His career might still be on the line. But did he quit? Yeah, he took a knee and didn't want to continue fighting. That's quitting. But, like I said, it might have saved his career and it was 100% the right
thing to
choice.
do. I think that, from what I was looking at it again, is that, again, looking at it from a corner's point of view, the guy couldn't see.
Yeah.
And do you know what?
At what point do you decide you've got to pull him out?
I seen an interview with Anthony Agogo. I don't know if you've seen Anthony Agogo and the issues he's had with his eyes.
Yeah.
And he was just saying, we can't fight someone like Joe Joyce with one
No.
eye.
Yeah.
So I think perhaps the corner should have taken the decision out of his hands. No one knows the pain that man was going through.
No, yeah.
It wasn't very nice, you could say that.
So to pass comment on it is unfair.
Yeah.
But what I do know is that I know that he'll come again. He's young. I know we've got a good team around him and Martin Bowers. I just think it's been unfair how he's been kicked.
Yeah.
He's been kicked because obviously he quit and he didn't. But again, going back to game plans, and Joe Joyce won the fight. Simple tactics, slipping the jab, stepping to the right hand, throwing a right hand, stepping off, throwing the jab. He didn't miss the jab.
No.
He nailed him all night.
I think he's very, very underrated and don't get enough credit for his boxing ability, Joe Joyce. You know, Olympic silver medalist for nothing.
And do you know what? No, the actual silvers he won in the Worlds and European gold.
Yeah. And the Olympics. I think it was Tony Yoka, I think he boxed in the final.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I think it was Tony Yoka. And, you know, even with a good engine, a good boxer can always beat a good fighter over 3-3s.
Yeah.
You can grind it out to 3-3s.
Yeah.
You can
you could just slag it out for 3 3-minute rounds or 12 rounds, just different.
Yeah.
But you've got to have a lot more than just a good engine to get to the final of these tournaments, do you mean?
Yeah.
Obviously he got some boxing brain about him.
But the frustrating thing for Joyce, man, no one mentioned him, no.
No.
He
was
just
all-
Same with Arthur.
Arthur's the same,
and do you know what?
exactly
There's two of the cash cows for Warren, Yarde and
Dubois, yeah.
both lost.
Yeah.
He's sick,
by the way, and he's just like, and no one's even mentioned Arthur. No one's mentioning Joyce. And it's unfair. But no, but I just wanted to know what you thought of the criticism of Dubois has. I think it's been unfair.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Well, one thing I always worried about with Alex is when his eye went, I knew if he was put in that situation and his eye goes in that fight and he's fighting with one eye, he's not going to take a knee, and I know he wouldn't take a knee.
And
that's what worried me.
That's
more
what
than
done the damage. I know it was sparring, not fighting thing, but maybe I should have, when it originally happened, to come out to the spar.
Yeah.
But it was just that manly thing, do you mean? But if I could go back now and do what Dubois done, would I do it? 1,000,000%.
He made the right to
save his career.
Yeah, for him. It was right for him, wasn't it?
Exactly.
And he's just got to stick by that. I just think people got the right to make a comment on something or pass judgment when they don't know.
It's like, I tell you what, it's spot on was Andy Lee. Do you hear his comment? He said you get people in the MMA tapping out every single weekend.
Yeah.
Why do they get called quitters then?
Yeah.
They quit.
Right.
Every weekend they tapping out, they get choked on the neck, or they have their arm bent, and they tapping out, I'm had enough. Oh, it's fine, fair play to him. He lasted 10 seconds, he lasted 3 seconds, that arm, brave man, like.
Yeah.
Someone takes a knee after 7 rounds and gets smashed in the eyeball the size of a gobstopper. Huh? So I mean, I need to quit that, like.
Yeah.
The medicine ball lying off his
Yeah.
It was a bad injury, and like Brett said, the corner maybe should have looked at that eye and thought that's because it was completely swollen shut.
Oh
it was shut.
Perhaps it's like again, it's easy. Again, it's quite frustrating. Oh, I would have done this, and as a coach, I would have done that. You've got a minute in there.
You can imagine, Brett. You know what I mean? You've been in some of the biggest fights. You've been in WBC world title fights. You mean you get caught up in a moment? I can imagine, you know.
You
know
do,
what I mean?
and it's difficult when you're sat in the house with a beer, a packet of crisps, and and you like you see, just tell him to do that. It's different. When you're in that corner, you've got a split seconds to come back. The time they come back, you take a breather, you swill them down, you give them the water.
Like 10 seconds,
exactly right. So it's so difficult to make that call.
And I bet what you was thinking about telling him in the middle of the round, it's gone.
It's difficult, but I think it's unfair the criticism they got. But anyway, I wanted to just get the opinions on it.
Would you have changed Dubois' game plan?
Again, I think that they had to really. He was struggling. I think what they were doing was that naturally he's throwing the right hand, he's stepping off to the right. Naturally, I would have told Dubois just to push him onto the left hook. He didn't do that. That's personally myself. I think it was plan A. Was it another example of not having a plan B? Was it an example of too much too soon for Dubois? Well, you've got to weigh it up as who is he boxed?
Yeah, no one to that level.
He's 23 years old.
Yeah. Which is, especially in heavyweight boxing, is young.
Yeah. So I think that again, you can say this and you can say I would have done this, I would have done that. You don't know until the night. But again, I think he might have been a victim of not having a plan B. But again, it's easy for us to sit there and talk.
Because I believe Joyce, I think he looks a completely different fighter from the outside to what he is on the inside, being in there with him. And I think they massively underrated his boxing ability. And when he went in there, they seen him flicking that jab out, making a miss and come back with right hands.
He's a big man as well.
Big man, like.
Yeah.
Do you mean? And he can move, he's doing backflips out the fight. He's 6'6". Do you mean?
And another thing is, and the other thing I forgot about. And the other thing is, you have a hell of a chin as well.
He's round 3, man. I was there watching it. Oh my god. Bing. Yeah, Dubois, he's a concussive puncher. I mean, he hits people and he slapped them.
But I think looking at it, what happens is he goes in there, he walks through people. He couldn't walk through him, so he was kind of a little bit like, right, I'm not used to this. Like what happened with Joshua with Ruiz. And the same thing happened.
Like a rabbit in the head, Oh my god,
But I'm a massive fan of Dubois. I think he come back, I think he takes some time off, he got a bit of nerve damage, etc. He's 23, he's got a skill set to do it, so it'd be good to see him back.
If the rematch ever does happen, do you think he'll always have that in the back of his head?
The eye or the loss?
The injury, The old
I think he'll get over that. The eye.
I think in the media about the eye injury all about, has it gone down? Is anyone seen him?
Frank Warren said there's 2 actual fractures.
I mean, because it's not a kind of career-threatening loss. He didn't absolute hammer or nothing. It was a good competitive fight.
That's what.
I think he's got nightmares over. Do you mean and flashbacks? Like, oh my god. Do you mean last I can remember is Joe Joyce? Do you mean? Do you mean
Rocky?
Yeah. Do you mean
Ivan Drago. Noises and that.
So I think he'll recover from it. Come here, and I think he takes some positives away from it as well. Do you mean?
Yeah.
But I think that, bearing in mind, you look at some of the fighters, right, that Dubois could have boxed.
Yeah.
When you talk about people like Martin Bacoli,
he looks,
when you talk about I was going to say Nathan Gomez boxed him already. I think
might have been decent.
I think Dubois, in terms of experience, because Ali talked about Joyce's experience in terms of the Olympian and Worlds and WBA and all the World Box Super Series and all that. Dubois, really, from what I can gather, what I've read before, hasn't got that pedigree. I know he's on the Olympic squad, didn't really do anything there, but I think he could have perhaps 2 or 3 fights before. When you're talking about the likes of Martin Bacoli and all these guys, he could have gone in with.
Definitely.
I think.
Talking about, we'll finish off now on a bit of Dave Allen. What do you think of his dress sense on the Eurosport show?
What did you think of the Eurosport with the car park?
I done my head in.
Oh, I didn't see it.
It's surrounded by cars and they all sit in the car, the ring. The crowd is in cars.
Oh, it's an outdoors.
It's drive-through.
Horn after horn after horn.
Was it?
I don't know.
Right. It was a nightmare.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
You don't listen to that when you're watching the boxing. No. Do you know what?
I just judge it.
very selfishly wouldn't mind crowds staying away from
I
the
know
arena.
Tony went with that going on. Yeah, look out.
Good old Tony. So we finish up on that now, and thank everybody for watching, and we shall see you soon. Boxing Bonanza, baby.
That was fucking right, that wasn't it?
Yeah, boy.
Fuck, we enjoyed that.